Championship Boxing is back, coming to you live and in high definition from Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, Wales, where local hero Joe Calzaghe defends his 168-pound title for the 20th time against Peter Manfredo of Contender fame. But first, a look at one of the most highly regarded prospects to come into the sport in years, as Amir Khan, who won a silver medal for England in the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, Greece, takes on Steffy in a lightweight bout scheduled for 8 rounds. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. Welcome to a tumultuous scene in Millennium Stadium, mostly used as a rugby stadium in Cardiff, Wales, where later on in this telecast, you will see the pride of Wales, Joe Calzaghe, as he attempts to join an extremely select list of fighters who have defended titles as many as 20 times. He's the longest reigning title holder in the sport. But right now, behind me, the most celebrated young prospect to come into boxing in years, Amir Khan of England, is entering the ring for his 12th professional fight. He's won 11 so far, 8 by knockout, and attempts to continue his run toward potential greatness in this, his HBO debut. He's a lightweight. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape as Khan gets ready to take on hand-picked opponent Steffy. Khan at age 20, 3 years after his Olympic splash in Athens, where he won the silver medal, losing only to the great Mario Quindelán of Cuba. A loss later avenged in a dual meet here in Britain, takes on 29-year-old Steffy. They're both 5 feet 10 inches tall, arm length 26 inches for Bull, a 1-inch advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They weighed in within 2 pounds of the 135-pound limit. Let's go to the ring, where Michael Buffer is ready for the official introductions.
Professional boxing for your entertainment. Brought to you by Mr. Frank Warren for Sports Network, in association with the Tournament of Contenders and www.frankwarren.tv. Sponsored by the News of the World, big on boxing, and Rockstar Energy Drink, party like a rock star. All bouts sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, assigned to this contest as sole judge and referee in charge of the action in the ring, Marcus McDonald. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is a special 8-round contest in the lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with red, official weight 9 stone, 10 pounds. Professional record, 29 fights, 24 victories, including 5 knockouts, 4 defeats, and 1 bout even. From Doncaster, England, introducing Steffy Supersonic Bull! And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black, trimmed with silver, official weight 9 stone, 11 pounds. Since capturing the silver medal in the 2004 Olympics, he has a perfect professional record, consisting of 11 bouts, 11 victories, including 8 by knockout. From Bolton, England, the undefeated Amir Khan.
Right, guys, you both know the rules of boxing. That explains to you. One thing I will say about my sons at all times: when I tell you to break, I expect you to break. Keep it nice and clean. God bless you both. Let's go to work, lads.
When you capture an Olympic medal at the age of 17, you can also capture the hearts and minds of boxing fans, as Khan has done in the boxing mad Britain. He's been compared here to the young Olympians Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya.
That the voice of Larry Merchant. We're joined live also at ringside by World Championship Boxing expert commentator Emmanuel Stewart. Emmanuel, Khan is known, in addition to being very tall for the weight class, to have exceptionally fast hands and great balance. What do you know about him as a fighter?
Well, he has a good sense of feeling when a punch is coming, and he makes defensive motions to get away from punches without getting out of position, where he can come back and counter right away. And tonight he's fighting a guy that's tall and rangy like he is to some degree.
He's a counter puncher primarily, however, and what Bull is doing here is trying to make him take the lead.
That's indeed what Bull told us he would try to do. Make Khan be the counterpuncher. Or excuse me, make Khan be the leader and he himself be in the role of counterpuncher. Bull, as you can also see, is a southpaw. He takes a big left hook from Khan, who was able to find an opening with Bull's right hand dropped just a little bit low. Now Bull again drops that right hand down and begins trying to circle away from Khan's left hook, and Khan comes back with a straight right hand.
Khan is looking very sharp, and Bull cannot continue to keep running. It's just a matter of time before he's going to slow down and have to start fighting.
Khan went the distance once at 4 rounds. In his next to last fight, went the distance at 10 rounds. So already, just 11 fights into his professional career, he's shown he can go a 10-round distance. But it doesn't look as though it's going to take that kind of time tonight, as in this scheduled 8-rounder, he's already beginning to land some heavy artillery on Bull. Bull is a guy who was contemplating retirement from the sport. In fact, his fiancée bought him a pair of tickets for tonight's event here, on the expectation that the two of them would come to watch Joe Calzaghe. Then he got the understanding that he might have a chance to fight Amir Khan, wound up giving his own ticket to his father, and now has a chance to perform in what he acknowledges will likely be his last fight if he can't spring a massive upset.
This is the new retirement, Jim. Retirement is just another tactic in fighters' career these days. You retire until somebody offers you some serious money.
You see, the first time that Bull throwed anything on the offensive, he got hit right away. Because Amir is really a good counterpuncher, and he's really getting frustrated because he had to change his style completely.
According to CompuBox, Steffy Bull yet to land the punch with 25 seconds remaining in round number 1. So all the offense in round 1 has come from the dramatically celebrated young prospect Amir Khan. Referee is going to ask Bull, I believe, if he wants to fight. Now he's telling Khan that he's going to have to keep his punches up. Finally, Steffy Bull manages to get a left hand past the guard of Amir Khan. Khan comes back with a right cross and a left hook and has Bull going as round 1 comes to a close.
He's going to keep on taking. Throw it because you're scared of him coming towards you. Throw your shots to land with authority. Don't panic punch. Little gloves there.
Here you see Amir Khan land a shot that was considered low, which definitely was not a low blow. It was directly on the borderline up there. And it was the only time that he could get close, which I'm surprised that the referee interrupted action to caution him.
Bull has a tattoo on his right side of his back of Muhammad Ali. Khan actually took a pilgrimage to the U.S. to visit with Ali.
And that Ali tattoo threatens to be scraped against the ropes a great deal as Bull continues to circle and back up and try to get away from the assault of Amir Khan. Khan connected 15 power punches in the first round, 6 of them to the body. Steffy Bull without a single power punch connect.
If he goes down, Jim, would that be the 4th time that Ali hit the canvas in his career?
And the first time that he'll hit it face first. Khan showing some level of frustration as he tries to A, find Bull, and then B, land something.
But he's fighting a perfect fight. He's moving in, putting a lot of pressure on him, not loading up with any one punch. He's just throwing little short punches until he can see a stationary target where he'll throw power punches.
But to give you an idea of what the pressure is to be Amir Khan at this moment in Great Britain. He was 19 last year when the first hardback biography of Khan appeared in the bookstores to overwhelming response. But this is a man who has programmed himself from stardom since an early age. When he was 12 years old, in his native area of Manchester, he met Ricky Hatton. at an autograph signing event and approached Hatton and said, "Look out for me. I'm going to fight you someday."
Yeah, I think there'll be a box set of biographies by the time he's 25.
Khan has already raised $2.5 million for children's charities in his brief tour of duty as a professional fighter. And it's typical of the career of a young professional fighter, particularly one protected by a careful promoter like Frank Warren. But Khan has yet to face as a professional any fighter who comes even close to the talent of the man that he lost to in the Olympic finals and then defeated less than a year later, Mario Quindelán of Cuba, a legendary amateur who in the amateur ranks defeated both Miguel Cotto and Felix Trinidad.
What are we finding out about Khan here, Emmanuel?
I think he's got good fast hands, good balance, and a good sense of distance, and he's never shot his punches too far out. Even though he's fighting a defensive fighter, I'm very impressed with what I see. His punches are sharp, accurate, and he keeps his body in good position. And sooner or later, he's going to have to, catch this guy coming in. But anytime that Bull throws anything, Khan immediately counterpunches right away. He's never let him throw a punch without he countered. Right there again.
Perfect left hook by Khan. Bull all but leaned into it. Steffy Bull very reluctant to throw because of Khan's brilliant countering ability. 2 rounds in the books in a showcase for Amir Khan. Beginning April 15, the premiere of De La Hoya Mayweather 24/7, a 4-episode series featuring exclusive behind-the-scenes access to both fighters as they prepare for their upcoming super fight. Unprecedented programming. Then on May 5, the matchup everyone has been waiting for, Oscar De La Hoya putting his 154-pound championship on the line against the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in boxing, Floyd Mayweather.
Drink it. Please stand up for it.
One of the most one-sided CompuBox statistical lines you will ever see just appeared on the screen. In round 2, Khan was given credit for landing 21 of 58 punches. Steffy Bull, 3 of 7. This takes fighting to survive to an absurd level.
And every time he threw those 3 punches, he was hit with a punch in return.
Long right hand lands for Khan. Bull continues to seek space wherever he can find it in the ring. Bull now trying to hold Khan, slow down the assault. Again, a lead by Bull and the instant counter by Khan. Big right hand stuns Bull, and he grabs Khan to hold on.
He got very close and shot a little straight right hand, not loading up on him, just like almost with the same power which you showed a jab. And he's very effective with that.
Break, stop boxing, time out. Stop holding. I told you enough time.
Recognizing he's in against a southpaw. Khan going to the right hand lead, momentarily dispensing with the jab lead. You heard the referee telling Bull to stop holding. The less he holds, the shorter the bout will be. You can tell that whatever courage Bull might have brought into the ring has already been sapped as he simply tries to get away. Solid body shots from Khan. A big right hand lands upstairs. Bull goes to his knees. First knockdown of the fight.
It looks like a left hook to the body.
6, 7.
A barrage of punches.
9.
Bull wants no more. Knockout victory number 9.
And Bull motions to his ribs, indicating that he was having difficulty breathing after one of those barrages just before he went down.
So the latest sensational early career performance for a fighter programmed for greatness. Amir Khan. His father, Shahbaz Khan, in the ring now, and here's a close look at the knockout, Emmanuel.
Right, it was just a barrage of punches, but at this stage, I think he was trying to find a way out anyway.
Yeah.
And I think it was a left hook to the body. I thought they just gave him the excuse that he wanted.
Yeah, well, Bull said to us
That was it right there.
Said to us yesterday about his profession, sad work,
Now
this boxing.
He can come back and join his wife and sit down and enjoy the fight and collect a paycheck.
Works full-time as a teacher and counselor for both children and adults with developmental disabilities. That's something that his amateur boxing coach got him into long ago, and Steffy Bull will go on into future life, probably one fight beyond where he might have retired because of the 8,000 pounds plus a little bit of sponsorship money that he got for fighting Amir Khan. And Larry, let's take a look at the top prospects in the sport. Where does Khan rank among them?
Well, we put together this little graphic about some of the fighters you may never have heard of who are considered almost sure things to be top fighters and perhaps champions in the future. There's Amir Khan, a lightweight, featherweight, Juan Manuel Lopez of Puerto Rico, Ray Batista from the Philippines, the next typhoon to blow across the sea, Andre Berto, who looks ready now to challenge anybody in the welterweight division, although he needs to get some more rounds. Andy Lee, the Irish fighter who is trained and managed by Emmanuel Stewart and looks like $10 million. And Alexander Povetkin, the gold medalist in 2004, undefeated after 12 professional fights, considered the best prospect out there from, of course, Russia.
All right, so we begin the evening with one can't-miss prospect, Amir Khan. Let's take a look at another. A new form of programming, debuting April 15 on HBO. We call it De La Hoya Mayweather 24/7, your most intimate, extended look ever inside the training camps of top-level prize fighters. In this case, Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather, as they prepare for their super fight on May 5, live on HBO pay-per-view. Let's take a look.
Man, it's Floyd Mayweather, man, Mr. HBO himself, live and living color 24/7. Why do you think 24/7 is recorded like this? Because of me.
Oscar is a businessman. Floyd is, well, Floyd is Floyd.
You will never be able to beat me, never, never. Not on your greatest day, never.
The way he treated Oscar in the press tour.
I'm gonna make it a rough and tough fight come May 5th.
I'm so scared.
A lot of people want to see him shut this Mayweather's mouth.
Bring him on, bring Oscar up here. There you go.
I do too.
I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna make you call me pretty. I'm gonna beat you.
They couldn't be more different. One golden, the other pretty. But a mutual dislike provides a constant source of motivation.
Put your hands off me.
Nurtured by several tense moments on the recent press tour.
I'm gonna lock with this one, right?
And HBO Sports has been there every step of the way. Behind the scenes, filming the new 4-part series 24/7 as they prepare for the fight of their lives.
He was just like so nervous, out of his mind. He couldn't control himself. What did he do? He stole my bag, took my belongings from my training bag, because you think it's gonna affect me? I mean, those are childish things.
You say I stole his training gear. Okay, well, do something about it, Mayfair. That's what I gotta say. Okay, I stole your shit. Now do something about it. Do something about it.
You don't want to make me your enemy, because I could be a mean person.
Mom, I'm sorry. Did I use bad language? I feel so bad, but I'm gonna fuck him up. Want some chips?
Unscripted.
Now watch the champ put gas.
Unfiltered.
If all a person got in their bank account right now is $1 million, and they bet on Oscar, they're gonna be a broke motherfucker.
24/7 will be a window into their world. Exclusive, unprecedented access for 4 weeks leading up to the May 5th showdown.
You're behind the scenes.
Fighters like me come around once in a lifetime.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win that fight.
I'm looking for these goddamn pants. Man, I gotta find me a 2-piece. I like carry mine in cash. Get the job done better.
The pound-for-pound favorite.
Great right hand by Mayweather. It's getting brutal in there.
Versus the people's favorite.
What a shot!
Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, 24/7. As real as it gets.
Well, you're right. This isn't a be your last fight. Make sure of that.
In this fight, it can't be two good guys. It's bullshit. So, I chose to be the bad guy. Fuck it.
That's De La Hoya Mayweather 24/7. It premieres next Sunday night, April 15th. And over the course of its 4-week run, we'll take you inside the training camps and lives of both fighters as they prepare for their mega showdown, May 5 on HBO pay-per-view. That night at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, you can expect indescribable energy, much as is the case here in Millennium Stadium, a stadium most frequently used for rugby in Cardiff, Wales, where a crowd of more than 35,000 people, Britain's largest ever indoor crowd for boxing, has assembled partially for the excitement they experienced as Amir pounded out his less than 3-round victory over Steffy Bull, but mostly to honor the pride of Wales, Joe Calzaghe, who tonight tries to join a select list of a very few fighters in the history of the sport who've held a title long enough to defend it as many as 20 times. He's the longest reigning title holder in the sport, and tonight he faces something of a showcase event. Let's take a look ahead to the main event. In boxing, there's reality, and there's reality TV. Tonight, those worlds collide in Cardiff, Wales, where local hero Joe Calzaghe's reality includes membership among the elite pound-for-pound fighters in the sport.
Sensational! Unbelievable stuff!
Undefeated in 42 professional fights, and the 168-pound title holder for almost a decade, Calzaghe stands alone now as boxing's longest reigning champion. And here is Joe Calzaghe at his best, and now Calzaghe shows you his hand speed. Despite his sterling resume, perception is reality, and the perception was that Calzaghe hadn't faced the best. That all changed in March of last year, when in the fight of his life, he annihilated American challenger Jeff Lacey.
It's over! What a win for Joe Calzaghe! A brilliant performance!
For Peter Manfredo, reality is proving he's more fighter than celebrity. A finalist in season 1 of the Contender reality television show, Manfredo has made the most of his time in the spotlight. And with highlight reel knockouts in his last 2 fights, has ridden his fame into a shot at the title. But to claim it, he must step into the lion's den, where Joe Calzaghe and more than 30,000 Welshmen are waiting with a harsh lesson in reality. In America, where we have such a multiplicity of sports heroes, it's impossible to imagine or to connect to the kind of pressure and the kind of adulation which surrounds an athlete like Joe Calzaghe, who hails from a nation where there are scant few athletes whose names can even appear in the same sports section, much less in the same breath. Let's take a look at the impact on Calzaghe's life of being the pride of Wales. Cardiff, the capital city of Wales, has all the elegant trappings of a European city: cobblestone streets, castles, and church towers. And at the edge of town sits Millennium Stadium, where the Welsh come to express their hearty passion for rugby. But in 2006, a new sporting hero delayed the start of a national match.
Here's the ovation for one of the best boxers Wales and Britain has ever produced, Joe Calzaghe.
That's fantastic.
Joe Calzaghe had returned from England, where he had annihilated the heavily favored Jeff Lacey just the week before. A year later, Millennium Stadium sits empty, and Joe Calzaghe is back, because now his 20th title defense will be right here.
It's going to be a fantastic night. It's going to be a big curtain that's going to come right in the middle of the pitch. The roof is going to be put on, as you can see, it's open at the moment, and it's going to be a great night.
The pride of Wales could fight in front of the largest audience in British boxing history.
This is Britain's Madison Square Garden. It's always been one of my dreams to fight in this place, and finally I'm going to get my opportunity to fight here. There's going to be 30,000 or 35,000 possibly crammed in here. You know, it's going to be fantastic.
Joe Calzaghe is now a Welsh sporting icon. He has ensured legendary status. For years, lack of recognition didn't come his way. Now, things are starting to happen for him.
I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful.
Being a champion of the world from a small country, you know, the fans are really, you know, amazing. Everybody just says how proud you make them feel to be Welsh.
He's wicked!
20 miles away from Millennium Stadium is Calzaghe's hometown of Newbridge. A working-class town of 6,000 residents, Newbridge does all it can to support its local hero. At Phil Walker's shop, the specialties include shoe repair, key duplication, and Calzaghe fight tickets.
We got the best fighter in the world in Newbridge. Everybody in Wales will be in his corner. They think he's fantastic. You've got sort of like a living legend walking around the streets, haven't we?
On the edge of town, a set of stairs that leads to an unpretentious old rugby clubhouse. It is here where the world's longest reigning champion trains, under the watchful eye of his father, Enzo.
This is basically what I've nearly lived all my life, and people say, well, why do you stay here? The reason is it keeps your feet on the ground. I've got beautiful hills to run up. I get left alone. That's where I feel comfortable, where I enjoy.
Calzaghe has stuck with the comforts of home for most of his boxing career. He has fought outside the UK only twice, and never outside of Europe, a distinction that makes the American boxing establishment skeptical of his 42-0 record.
The phrase protected European fighter was labelled at Joe for a long time. Lacey thought that he was a protected European fighter.
Of course they're biased, obviously. Just, I wish I could just give you some paper and show you what they were saying about Lacey was going to do to me.
Sensational! Unbelievable stuff!
I needed the Lacey fight to show everybody what I was all about, because I had to show all the doubters in America. I want to fight Hopkins, Jermaine Taylor. I'm talking about fighting the top elite fighters. Simple as that. You know, that's where my career, I deserve them big fights now. I've paid my dues. 9.5 years as a champion, what can I do?
For much of those 9.5 years, Calzaghe dominated a super middleweight division devoid of the kind of challenges needed to define a legacy. Now, at 35, he may get the mega fights he's craved for so long, but he may need to leave the UK.
This could be his last fight in Wales, and they'll turn out and give him a send-off to ensure that he goes to America knowing how much he meant to Wales.
After years and years of hard work, being champion for nearly 10 years, this is coming to the end road in my career. So, like I said, they're going to put a wicked performance on, and I'm looking forward to it.
And there's not even a mention there of the man who is now the most logical foil to Calzaghe in the 168-pound weight class, Larry. Mikkel Kessler of Denmark, also unbeaten, who himself looked terrific a couple of weeks ago in beating Librado Andrade of Mexico. Larry, as the piece points out, Calzaghe looked sensational last May in dispatching Jeff Lacey of the United States. Not nearly as sensational last fall in beating Sakio Bika. So, which is the real Joe Calzaghe?
Both. A Biko who is strong and awkward and resolute is hard work for anyone. And though Calzaghe beat him decisively, he was made to look like a star in a bad movie. But it took his superior skills to expose and to school and to flunk Lacey, however overhyped he may have been. But the skepticism is based on the fact that Europeans have taken over this relatively new 168-pound division as a sort of a safe house, you know, safe from the serious opponents above at light heavyweight and below at middleweight. Whatever. It has proved to be a brilliant marketing strategy for Calzaghe, just as the series, The Contender, has been for Manfredo. Just look around, Jim. Half of Wales is here.
Indeed, 35,000 or more waiting to honor Calzaghe, as we said, and Calzaghe borrowing some of the market power of Contender, which made Manfredo an identifiable figure, not just in the United States, but also around the world, Emmanuel Stewart. Contender gives Manfredo a platform for getting into this fight, but in reality, it's basically a showcase for journeymen. Can a fighter like that perform at Calzaghe's championship level?
He can, but it's going to be very difficult, Jim, when you really consider the fact that, for the most part, Manfredo's been fighting like we consider Class B fighters, and didn't just move to Class A. He went to a superstar status, fighting a legendary fighter like Calzaghe. And then looking at this audience, 35,000 people, a country he's never fought in, especially when you look at just 2 years ago, his fights, he was fighting at 162 and 159.
All right, and of course, a part of the challenge to Manfredo, the intimidation of this moment, the longest, the most intense walk to the ring in his entire career. As Peter Manfredo walks, we take a look at the tail of the tape, which will show you these 268-pound fighters in statistical outline. Calzaghe giving up 9 years in age to Manfredo. There's a 2-inch height difference listed here. Calzaghe actually believes he's more than 2 inches taller than Manfredo. Their arm lengths, however, are equal, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. Calzaghe weighed in a quarter of a pound under the 168-pound limit. Manfredo 2 pounds under at 166. It's been rumored that he has difficulty actually getting up to 168 pounds. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Joe Calzaghe Peter Manfredo fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim!
So Manfredo stands in his corner as the familiar Contender theme plays to honor his participation in that series from which he was eliminated after his first fight and then ultimately brought back when another fighter got the chicken pox. It's been a long and difficult road for Manfredo, who twice lost fights to Sergio Mora in the Contender series, but scored 2 excellent 3-round knockouts in his first 2 appearances in the 168-pound class. And now get ready for the crowd to explode on behalf of the Pride of Wales.
Calzaghe gives credit to his popularity now to that victory over Lacey, which convinced a lot of doubters. In fact, Jim, he was an underdog in his hometown to Lacey, who had never fought anyone on his level before. Tonight, if you wanted to bet on Calzaghe, you would have to lay 33 to 1. $33 to win 1.
He's seen by fans here, Emmanuel, as something of a destroyer, but in fact, he fights in a style that might be seen as unique, built more on speed and punching volume than on power.
Absolutely. He's not a big puncher, but he gets his job done. He knows how to win fights. He has a unique style of punching from all angles, and he punches very well in close, believe it or not, as well at long distance, but his volume of punches is just tremendous.
His record of 42-0 is eerily identical to that of fellow Briton Ricky Hatton of Manchester, England, who fights in the 140 and 147 weight-pound classes and is also 42-0. But Calzaghe hasn't actually been a loser in a fight since 1990. He's gone 17 years without tasting defeat as an amateur or a professional.
That not only attests to his boxing skills and talent, but he's got to be tough. And in those 17 years, he's had to have fights where his hands was hurt, injuries and things like that, and he still came through and won fights.
So the stage is set for Joe Calzaghe's show. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would like everyone to please rise for the national anthems of the respected fighters, both challenger and champion. Here to sing both national anthems, first the national anthem of the United States and then the national anthem of Wales, please welcome Mr. Wyn Evans.
Oh, say, can you see Bond's early light? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars saw the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? My inward burn had I an unoily me, glad by the chantorion in Wagion Ovry. I go all Robert with glad God with Raman, Dros Radid Kotlasant. I go wide, glad, 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 joloi vim glad, tramor anvir, irbir opai, obadet irene oith,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Warren for Sports Network in association with the Tournament of Contenders and www.frankwarren.tv is proud to present the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by the News of the World, big on boxing, Rockstar Energy Drink, party like a rock star. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, Chairman Charles Giles, President Lord Brooke Tremorfin, General Secretary Simon Block, World Boxing Organization and President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the three judges scoring this contest on the 10-point system. From Canada, Harry Davis. From Puerto Rico, Jose Rivera. And from Belgium, Andre van Gultembrel. Inside the ring, the referee in charge of the action from Birmingham, England, Terry O'Connor. And now, for the 35,000 fans here in Millennium Stadium, Cardiff, Wales. And for the millions watching around the world on television, ladies and gentlemen, Let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the red corner, wearing green, red, and white, official weight 11 stone, 12 pounds. His professional record stands at 29 contests, 26 victories, including 12 victories by knockout and 3 defeats. From Providence, Rhode Island, USA, the challenger, the WBO number 6 ranked contender in the world, the Italian warrior, Peter Manfredo Jr. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black, trimmed with white. Official weight, 11 stone, 13 3/4 pounds. Professional record, a perfect one, consisting of 42 contests, 42 victories, including 31 knockouts, with 24 of those KOs coming in 4 rounds or less. He currently is the longest reigning champion in the world, and tonight makes the 20th defense of his title. Ladies and gentlemen, from Newbridge, presenting the fighting pride of Wales, member of the British Empire, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBO super middleweight champion of the world, Joe Calzaghe.
Protect yourself at all times. When I say break, I want you to break straight away, okay? Shake hands, best of luck to both.
Reality boxing is to real boxing on this level as the Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas is to the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Is Manfredo a real contender or a reality contender?
Well, I believe that Manfredo is going to fight a good fight. I just think the inside warrior of him and his pride is going to make it a very interesting fight.
Calzaghe said, I would prefer that Manfredo come right at me, as has been his style in some other fights. But I have a hunch that he'll try to fight smart and box. So I'll watch in the first round and determine whether I have to attack full scale or whether I'm going to get a chance to counterpunch, as is my preference. For the moment, it appears Manfredo, much like Steffy Bull against Amir Khan, wants to lay back and make Calzaghe come to him.
But unlike Steffy Khan, I think Manfredo is going to punch. And Manfredo has very good short, accurate punches, too, which can present a problem to anyone.
Calzaghe has tried to go to the body a couple times early. Manfredo looking upstairs. Manfredo has not been able to land anything like a jab in the early going. Manfredo claimed that he'll be able to feint Calzaghe into bad positions. It's very difficult to do that against Calzaghe, who is extremely well balanced and tends to be able to throw equally well with both hands. Crowd loves Manfredo in the corner. Calzaghe goes to the body. Manfredo tries to come over the top.
See, once you see him getting close range, you see Manfredo does a little better than Lacey did because he has very good short punches himself. But Calzaghe normally fights very good in close, which is surprising for a guy as tall as him. He knows how to slip an angle and shoot uppercuts even when he's in close.
And the sheer speed of his hands is a factor in that regard, too. He's able to get off a lot of punches in short bursts.
He doesn't load up on any one punch. He just accumulation of punches, what he depends on to win these fights.
He's got the happier feet and the happier hands.
There's already a slight red welt on the outside of Joe Calzaghe's left eye, probably the result of head contact. It would appear that there's likely to be head contact in the fight. Calzaghe is southpaw, Manfredo a conventional fighter. Both fighters trying to come forward at times.
But Manfredo is having a little more success than he normally would if Calzaghe had fought at long range. And what Calzaghe did was good right there. He's punching and getting out. When he punches and stays inside, it gives a chance for Manfredo to land short punches, counter punches.
And as Manfredo held Calzaghe's right hand, Calzaghe got free weighing with the left and got in several shots to the body and one short punch upstairs. There's a winging right hand by Calzaghe as Manfredo tries to go with the right hand to the body. Round one was competitive.
With a couple of shots in. We've got one coming out, jab coming out, all right? Just coming out. Follow the strong jab, all right? Follow the strong jab, all right? That's what I mean. Don't make hard work or something. There's no fucking thing or what? Where's the fucking thing? Buddy, okay?
How you feel? You ain't got nothing. He's slow. Yep. Feel him out nice and relaxed. There you go. Get the jab going a little bit more. Use it to the belly. He comes in with your belly with his jab, straight right hand. Just stay relaxed and you'll get off with it. Nice and short.
Two American-based fighters, Andrade and Lacey, have challenged the two top 168-pounders in the world in the last year or so, Calzaghe and Kessler. American has yet to win a round.
Copy box numbers in round one. Calzaghe 13 out of 47. Manfredo 9 out of only 31 punches attempted. Emmanuel Stewart, Peter Manfredo's regular trainer, is Freddie Roach. But he was not with him to prepare for this fight because, as almost everyone who follows boxing knows, Roach, on a one-time only basis, is in Puerto Rico training Oscar De La Hoya for his fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Even Manfredo acknowledged, "I don't have exactly the same confidence in my father, even though he trained me when I was a boy, as I have in Freddie Roach." How badly do you think it damages Manfredo in the fight?
I think it's definitely going to hurt him a lot, especially when men used to working with a certain trainer. And a lot of it is to do with mentally, where you feel. He feels very comfortable with working with Freddie. And he himself admitted he's doing everything that he can do, but he knows it's not the same.
On the other hand, Sugar Ray Leonard, who is part of the Contender program producing staff, has taken over the role of advisor in Manfredo's corner and says that he will try to tell father and son if he sees something they can do. Can Sugar Ray Leonard be of help?
I don't really think so in this case here. And in particular, the way that Calzaghe is fighting now, he's fighting very smart. You notice where he was leaning in and laying in the first round. Now he's punching in and out. And he's keeping the distance and taking and utilizing his reach right now and is making everything difficult for Manfredo now. Manfredo.
As Calzaghe tends to relax more, his hands seem to get faster. Catches Manfredo with a little right hand there. Now Manfredo tries to answer back.
Yeah, Calzaghe is fighting perfect fight now. He's in and out. His punches are more accurate and using his height. And right now, Manfredo really finding it very difficult to get back into the fight as compared to the first round.
Straight left hand by Calzaghe. Manfredo eats it.
Manfredo's plan was to try to get to Calzaghe's body and slow him down. So far, he hasn't been able to get there at all.
Come on, inside, baby! Right.
Right hand to the body by Calzaghe. You heard Peter Manfredo Sr. telling his son when he throws the right jab to your body, come back with a straight right hand over the top. Easier said than done.
Yeah, because Calzaghe is going in and out, and it's very difficult now for Manfredo to counterpunch. So he's there, he lands the left hand and then he pulls right back out after he lands the punch.
And you begin to see the lightning hand speed. Remarkable for a 168-pound fighter at 35 years old. All of his opponents keep saying, well, he's going to slow down. It hasn't happened yet. Next Sunday night, it's the premiere of De La Hoya Mayweather 24/7, a 4-episode series featuring exclusive behind-the-scenes access to both fighters as they prepare for their May 5 mega showdown. April 28th, Boxing After Dark returns with a terrific lightweight matchup when Marcelino Popo Freitas risks his title against Juan Diaz of the USA. May 5, Oscar De La Hoya puts his 154-pound title on the line against pound-for-pound king Floyd Mayweather in a mega fight in Las Vegas. And May 19, it's a middleweight doubleheader featuring 160-pound champion Jermaine Taylor against 154-pound titleist Corey Spinks. Also that night, what an undercard fight. Edison Miranda and Kelly Pavlik face on in a battle of two of the fastest rising stars in the sport, two big right-hand hitters in the middleweight division. For all that and more, log on to HBO.com. Jabs in the second round. Calzaghe, 11 of 47 by CompuBox count. Manfredo, 1 of 13. Peter Manfredo gradually ebbing out of the fight instead of getting more into it through the first couple of rounds.
You're seeing Calzaghe's right jab becoming a factor in the fight more and more as the fight is moving on. There it is.
Right hand counter punch by Calzaghe. Caught Manfredo coming in. Then clocks him with the left hand over the top. Manfredo just not fast enough to deal with Calzaghe's amazing speed.
Unbelievable speed. And his punches are very active punches too.
Calzaghe begins to hammer it home. Manfredo waves him in as if to say, come on, but can't find a way to answer with his hands.
No, in fact, Calzaghe is beating at close range. His punches are so straight and active right now.
And it begins to take on the look of a non-competitive sparring session. Most American writers seem to feel Manfredo would be able to go the distance.
Well, it's going to be very difficult.
Questionable if he can't find a way to answer back.
Calzaghe is fighting a perfect fight.
This is a far more focused Joe Calzaghe than the fighter who struggled for times against Sakio Bika in October. Manfredo finally gets off a punch and then is hammered into submission against the ropes. Referee Terry O'Connor watching and watching, and he'll stop it right now. Manfredo simply couldn't throw.
I did not like the stoppage.
I didn't either.
I did not like that stoppage.
I thought
the man was not hurt.
He wasn't hurt.
He wasn't hurt.
In fact, he was trying to, you get the feeling he was trying to let Calzaghe
absolutely punch himself out.
Punch himself out a little bit. But at the same time, we saw the fight. The difference between levels in all athletics is your quickness, and the difference between reality boxing and real boxing on this level is just too much quickness from Joe Calzaghe.
Guys, I don't think there's any question it's a premature stoppage, but Manfredo had to realize he was on Calzaghe's home court with 35,000 screaming fans watching every moment. If he couldn't find a way to answer back, he should have. His hands simply weren't moving.
Regardless of what, that fight should not have been stopped. I don't feel it.
I agree that it's way too quick a stoppage.
Yeah, it's too quick.
But Manfredo has to know that if he doesn't throw back, the possibility exists.
Right, and it robbed Calzaghe out of a great victory. He was on his way to winning by stoppage anyway.
CompuBox numbers in the abbreviated round 3. Calzaghe 26 of 92. Manfredo 3 of 13. When your opponent is throwing 92 punches and you can only get off 13, you invite the possibility that an overzealous referee jumps in.
And you know, the guy like Calzaghe, his punches was very well aimed and pinpointed. It wasn't like he was throwing wild punches. So it was just a matter of time before he would have won by TKO anyway.
Harold Letterman tells us that even in the rules meeting yesterday, Manfredo's people were complaining in advance about the possibility of a quick stoppage, so their worst nightmare comes true.
And it gives Manfredo a chance to go home still somewhat of a hero. He didn't get knocked out, and he can always complain that it was a premature stoppage.
Well, you know, that may be, but we saw what we saw, and what we saw was that every time Manfredo was setting himself to punch, he was either getting hit or Calzaghe was stepping back out of range. He was never really in it. He never landed anything significant. He never showed that he could compete on this level.
No, the difference in talent level was abundantly apparent.
1 minute, 30 seconds.
Well, I was very impressed.
The winner by TKO victory, and still the undefeated WBO super middleweight champion of the world, the fighting pride of Wales, Joe Calzaghe.
On what happened in round 3, a final exclamation point there. Calzaghe threw 92 punches in half a round, a minute and a half. Winds up in less than 3 rounds, landing 61 of 210 thrown punches, nearly tripling Manfredo's punch output. And frankly, Manfredo threw most of the punches, or 31 out of the 73 punches he managed to get off in the fight, in the very first round. Calzaghe landing nearly 4 times as many punches as Manfredo. The difference in talent level was abundantly clear, and what it's likely to prompt as we look at the power punch numbers. Calzaghe 40 to 15 there, and throwing 114 to only 44 unleashed by Manfredo. What that's likely to prompt, Emmanuel, is a greater outcry than ever for Joe Calzaghe to take another real fight, having had 2 more opponents in the wake of Lacey who do not rise to the level of talent that it would appear it takes to fight against Joe Calzaghe, and the boxing world wants to see him fight Mikkel Kessler.
Yeah, in fact, you look at that entire division, it's a 2-fighter division. It's only Calzaghe and Kessler that can create excitement. It's the only super middleweights that I want to see. And I think the fight has got to happen.
And what an event it would be, because at this moment, Calzaghe has just moved to 43-0 with 32 knockouts. Kessler is 37-0 himself, or 38-0, with, I believe, 29 knockouts. So you're talking about a fight between 2 fighters whose aggregate records would add up to 81 wins, no losses.
And I mean, they're legitimate fighters too. I mean, just the fact that they're drawing over 30,000. 2 weeks ago, we were with Kessler, he's over 30-some thousand. We come here, it's over 35,000. This is a fight that has to happen, and it's going to happen. They can't fight anyone else that the public's going to be interested in too much.
Calzaghe does talk about wanting to fight American fighters like Bernard Hopkins and Jermaine Taylor, trained by Emmanuel Stewart. But the fighter he fought tonight was Peter Manfredo, who stands by with Larry Merchant right now.
Thank you, Jim. Peter, give us your version of what you saw and felt at the end of the fight.
I was just, moving against the ropes, trying to get away from his pity-pat amateur shots, and the referee stepped in and pulled it and stopped it. I thought it was a premature stoppage. It's a world title fight. They don't even give me a chance. I wasn't hurt.
Did you feel that coming into his hometown that you had to show something there because of you giving them the opportunity to do something like that? Or was your strategy to maybe to make him punch himself out at that point?
I don't know if you think of that when you're in the ring. I was just thinking about trying to catch him maybe when he stopped throwing punches, but he never stopped. I don't know. You don't think of, if they're going to stop it real soon. If you're thinking that, you shouldn't even be in the ring. I'm thinking on my game plan. I'm thinking on what to do to get away of the punches. But, I felt they stopped it too prematurely, but what am I going to do?
Let's take a look at the end of the fight, and you describe what's happening there and what you're thinking.
He's just punching me with straight punches, and I'm just crouching, blocking, waiting for him to stop. I'll come back with a left hook to his head. I'm waiting. I rolled the wrong way, and I'm trying to go back this way, and then here he is stopping it right there. He did a lot of pushing. He's pushing me on the arms. Not a lot is getting in there, but hey, what are you going to do, man? I'm just disappointed. I'm just happy to be talking to you, man.
Coming into the fight, you had a plan to try to put some pressure on him, maybe to get him downstairs. Did you find him just too quick and hyper at the opening of this fight?
Yeah, that, and plus I was trying to feel him out a little bit. I didn't fight many left-handers. I work with a lot of them in the gym with different styles. I was just working on, trying to feint him. It didn't work. He was feinting pretty good on me. I just never got my game plan down. I never really got warm. It was over before it even started, so.
You said he's the best, but he can't be the best forever.
Right.
He can still be the best tonight, and can you see anybody beating him, including Kessler or Hopkins or Taylor?
Yeah, most definitely. I think all those guys can beat him. I hit him with a couple solid shots. I know he felt them because he grabbed me right away. I'm not a big puncher. I came up from 160 my first fight, third fight at 68. I got some pop, but not like Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor can hit, Kessler can hit. Hopkins can hit and box, and he's been in there. He's got the experience. This is my first time in a world title fight, you know, and I fought the best. So I just wanted to show the balls I got by coming here to his home country and fighting him.
Thank you very much, Peter. Jim?
Well, I think he's probably correct, Emmanuel Stewart, in saying that there are a lot of experts who would give Hopkins or Jermaine Taylor or Kessler good chances to beat Calzaghe. But on the other hand, none of those guys have fought a 168-pound fighter who throws as fast as Calzaghe does.
Calzaghe is going to be a problem for anyone. He's a good fighter. And I noticed how he made an adjustment after the first round. The first round was a little sloppy. He was getting hit with short punches. He came out in a totally intense pattern the second round, punching in and out, using his distance. And in the third round, he stepped it up a notch again. Sign of a good fighter.
And just to reiterate my point, I don't think there's any argument you can call that a premature stoppage, but if you're Peter Manfredo, you got to understand where you are. You're in Cardiff, Wales. You've got 35,000 here screaming for Joe Calzaghe. You got to throw a punch every once in a while.
You have to throw a punch. You know, but still, I thought it really robbed Calzaghe, I think, out of a great victory, because there's no way he was going to lose that fight. And I think it was just a matter of maybe a minute or two before he would have stopped him properly. But, you know, nevertheless, it is what it is. We have to move on to the next fight. I would love to see him, if he doesn't fight Kessler, to come to the United States and fight Bernard Hopkins or Jermaine Taylor, which he said he had no problem with doing that.
Well, a lot of people think that the next fight would in fact be Bernard Hopkins if Hopkins can get past Winky Wright this summer, and that, of course, is no certainty at all. It's an interesting equation because it's a fight in which Hopkins now at this point would be seen as the bigger man, although he spent the overwhelming bulk of his career in a lower weight class, 160 pounds. Calzaghe would certainly be seen as the faster and more offensive fighter, but maybe that's the kind of fight where Hopkins could be more interesting and entertaining than he's been in the past.
Well, he would have to, because in recent years, Bernard has been a real technical fighter, playing it safe. Even talking to Antonio Tarver, he said that if Bernard had stepped it up, he probably would have stopped him. But Bernard plays it safe. But fighting a guy like Calzaghe, who's a big guy, who says he walks around sometimes at 190, 196 pounds, he would have to step it up, because I think the intensity that Calzaghe fights at would make Bernard have to fight a little bit out of his normal pattern also.
All right, the other fighter that Calzaghe constantly mentions from America is Emmanuel's fighter, Jermaine Taylor. He remains at this moment the 160-pound champion of the world. Larry Merchant stands by with the 168-pound world champion, Joe Calzaghe.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Joe. About the end of the fight, you were throwing volleys and volleys of punches. Did you think that Manfredo was hurt badly enough for the fight to be stopped?
Basically, I knew he was hurt. You know, definitely was. He fought against the ropes. He was hurt. You know, it's not my job. I'm not the referee. The referee's there to do a job, and basically that's it. I know I hurt him. Possibly he could have went on, but I'm not the referee. You know, personally, I think in another 20 seconds I would have stopped the fight, because he wasn't answering him with any punches whatsoever, and I felt in total control. But listen, I'm not the referee, so I'm not going to say what's what.
You made an adjustment after the first round, after sounding him out. What did you see? What did you try to do?
Well, basically, I made a big mistake, you know, against the bigger fight. I was trying too hard and loaded up with the left hand, and then I make mistakes and fall in. So I anticipated Peter worked on that and was going to try and box me. So I love fighters coming to me, but sometimes I'm a bit impatient when they wait for me, and I always had to fall in. So I made a conscious effort tonight to box patiently from the outside, you know, find my range with a jab, which I did in the second round, and basically stepped up in the third. So it all went according to plan.
You were much too quick for him with your hands. You had to notice that very early on.
Yes, I did, you know, and I was pleased with that. You know, listen, you know, I'm the fastest super middleweight in the world, without a doubt. I got tremendous hand speed, and that's my greatest asset. Sometimes I don't use it enough, so I made, like I said, a conscious effort to use my range today, and that's going to prepare me for the bigger fights.
What are you going to say when you say bigger fights to those who say, okay, this was an overhyped kid from a popular reality series, and you beat him, and all you did was expose the fact that that series is filled with guys who are not on the top level of the sport?
Look at the crowd, 35,000. I don't think there's many other fighters in the world where they got 35. The guy's a star. So basically, you got to look at that. You know, it was a good fight to have. He's a big name. Hopefully, this will have got exposure in America. He deserves a title shot. He was in the top 10 in the world by the Ring magazine. He had a good win against Joey Speed and Scott Pemberton. So it wasn't just some guy who couldn't fight. So basically, the audience, and hopefully now a lot of people see me in the States and realize I'm one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. I'm ready to come over and show my talents.
This big crowd, 35,000. Does that change your plans in any way as far as fighting either Hopkins or Wright or Kessler or Taylor, that if you can attract this many people, can you now say to these guys, I'm not going to your country, you're coming to mine?
That's something, obviously, I have to speak with Frank. You know, this is a tremendous turnout, but, you know, it's always been one of my goals to have a fight in the States, to come over there and showcase my talents in America. And also, I want the big names. You know, I want to fight Hopkins and Jermaine Taylor. That's what I want to do now.
You say Hopkins and Jermaine Taylor. Why don't you?
Kessler, yeah.
Why don't you say Kessler, who many people who's as undefeated as you are in the same division?
Let's speak with Frank about this. Speak with Frank.
Kessler in a fight, and Morgan Pally wrote back to me in writing last week.
This is Frank Warren, the promoter, who is telling us that they have rejected an offer of a fight this summer, the Kessler people. Whether it happens later in the year or next year, it's inevitable, presumably, to happen. Don't you want to clear all of that up?
Yeah, well, of course. At the end of the day, this is like this is a carbon copy of 12 months ago, 16 months ago, when Jeff Lacey was the Kessler. When everybody said Lacey's going to kick my ass, Lacey's going to do this. You come over, I look around to Lacey, and I have full confidence in my ability. I believe I'll expose Kessler too.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Joe.
Thanks very much,
Jim.
He's exactly right, Emmanuel. As good as Calzaghe is, there are many experts in the sport who are already saying they would pick Kessler to beat him.
I agree with a lot of them to some degree. It's like a toss-up. I mean, I see it as a very good fight. Kessler's a very sharp, intelligent guy also. It'd be a great fight. Just the fact that he's still such a draw here that we're over here. Since we couldn't get him to come to us, we came over here to film him and shoot it back. So that shows that he definitely is a superstar.
Hey, let's see the United States produce a 35,000-seat house like this for an event like this. We'd love to see it. But we are here partially because this is a golden era in British boxing. As you saw at the beginning of the evening, Amir Khan is a hyper-glamorous rising tide. Ricky Hatton is unbeaten at 42-0. And, of course, Joe Calzaghe has now risen, Larry, to 43-0 with 32 knockouts. The golden era of British sport, certainly in the boxing ring. What does it all mean?
Well, Americans still haven't won a round in this division. But there's something else. You know, what we saw was the part of the fight biz that's also show biz. This has gone on forever. Peter Manfredo came here because he was a television-made star. Calzaghe is a real fighter in a division that we'll find out how real it is when they start fighting some of the fighters on the top level we're more familiar with. I can go back a half a century ago. There was a very popular television fighter named Chuck Davey out of Michigan State. Had a very crowd-pleasing style, was fed a bunch of opponents, and wound up fighting Kid Gavilan, just as Peter Manfredo fought Joe Calzaghe, and Kid Gavilan took him apart. So it's nothing new, but sometimes it does feel, Jim, like it's getting a little old.
Well, it doesn't feel old to this crowd of 35,000 who saw for both Steffy Bull against Amir Khan and for Peter Manfredo against their Joe Calzaghe, reality strike like thunder and lightning. An exciting night in Cardiff, Wales, and we thank you for being with us and remind you that Sunday, April 15th, you don't want to miss the premiere of De La Hoya Mayweather 24/7, our 4-episode series bringing you exclusive behind-the-scenes access to both fighters as they prepare for their May 5 mega fight on HBO pay-per-view. Monday, April 16th, catch the next installment of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, a look at how horses are being utilized in therapy sessions for sick children. Next on HBO, it's the UCLA Dynasty, followed by Legendary Nights, the tale of Leonard Hearns on the East Coast and Hoot on the West Coast. And now for our entire HBO crew, I'm Jim Lampley, saying so long from Cardiff, Wales.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.
For the first time in history, HBO captures the lives of two champions 24/7.